Broadcasting from the Warrior Garden Studios, Hoodlum Ministry, Ghost Pro Studios presents the Where You At podcast.
This is the Where You At podcast.
Yo, how y'all doing this evening? It's Angel Ray. This is the Where You At podcast. I said that backwards, but it's all good. Y'all know what we're here to do, right? So, this evening, we got John back on the show. How you doing, brother?
Pretty good. Thank you for having me again.
Hey, man, it's a blessing, bro. It's a blessing. I thank you for coming out. And so, me and John, we've been, talking, for the past couple of months, off and on about some things that we see going on, and John, really wants to step up and be an advocate, you know what I'm saying, for those who can't defend themselves. And so John, like, what has sparked this flame in your heart at this moment?
To be honest, I've always had that in something about injustice, man.
Yeah.
When people are being done wrong, the evil stuff that goes on, I have a hard thing with that. And throughout my life, I've had many conversations about this with people and the things that are going on in our community and around the world. But it's all been talk and there's nothing been put into action. And I went through some stuff with my kids and experienced the court system too, and seen it firsthand what it's capable of. And at this point in my life, it's time to put talk into action. Talking is not changing anything, so we have to do something in our community to get change.
But you know what really bothers me? What bothers me in this day and age is that it's like you said, people come, they talk the talk, and everything sounds good. Sounds like you're going to get it cracking. We're going to make this happen. But ultimately, a lot of the mentality in society nowadays is like, well, as long as it don't affect me, like, whatever. Right. You know what I mean? They just kind of brush it off.
Right.
And
a lot of that is too, man, society, you're so busy. You're having to work overtime just to provide for your family and stuff. And so when the economy is the way it is and people are having to focus on that, a lot of times they put that to the side because it's not affecting them directly, you know what I mean? Because their mind and priorities are something in their life at firsthand. But when you actually take time to sit back and look at everything, you're like, man, it's getting worse out here. You know what I mean? And so at that point, it's time to take action and start a positive cause.
Yeah, man. And unfortunately, like, the crimes that we're going to talk about today is, crimes against children.
That's the worst of the worst to me.
And I'm sorry, but like, I pray, you know what I mean, for understanding, though I don't ever want to, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's
right.
Because in God's eyes, everybody is worthy of salvation. Amen.
Yes, sir. Amen.
But it takes true repentance. I know us, we see pedophiles, people who do these sick things, and it's just like they are the lowest of the low. That's how we see them. You know what I'm saying? They are sick. Like, I just don't understand, you know what I mean, how grown men and even women nowadays, you know what I mean, can put a child through that, man.
It's hard to understand. It is hard to understand, and I'll never understand. Like I say, I don't understand, but at the same time, a lot goes into these things. Some of these people that do that, the way they were raised, their mental health, and there's a lot of things that go into it. Yeah. But at the end of the day, these are children.
Yes.
Period.
Yeah.
And as an adult, you know what's right and wrong.
That's right.
And so for someone to go after the most innocent and a defenseless person on the earth, it's unbelievable. And these people are getting probation, man.
Yeah.
For crimes against children that they can't defend themselves and they can't have a voice, they can't stop it. and they just get traumatized.
Yeah.
And these people are being let out back on probation with plea deals. Like,
Yeah.
not only is that not justice for these people who are going through this, it's a slap in the face from our government, our court system. That's not protecting the community. That's not protecting the innocent children that have been affected by this.
That's right, bro. And it's sad, man. You know, and like I said, it's just like it really pisses me off, bro. Like straight up, man. Like I me, the person I am now, you know what I mean? Yes, I do this, as ministry, but like I have no respect for pedophiles. I don't, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Like I really don't, and God forgive me, but
That's
truly,
that's
you
one
know
of
what I
the
mean? Lord have mercy on them, because God has a certain love for children because of their innocence, in Matthew and in Luke, you know what I'm saying? Jesus tells them, if anyone cause any of my little ones to sin, it'd be better to put a big millstone around your neck and just, chunk
drop the
yourself in the
bottom of the
water.
ocean.
You know what I mean? You'd be better off that way. And so, you know what I mean? Truly God's love for the children, for their innocence, you know what I'm saying? Is showcased there, and you know what I mean, and it's probably even greater than we could ever understand. And so when
Yes.
people do these types of harming to these children, like, to me it's pure evil.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It is completely 100% flesh. It is a sick desire. It's like, how do you even compose that thought? Like, what makes you even think about that? But you did say something very crucial. It depends how they were brought up too. You know what I mean? Though it's
Right.
not an excuse.
No,
You
at
know
all.
what I mean?
That's just a little bit of the understanding part.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
Not to
right.
not to say what they did is okay by no means, because it's not at any level.
Right.
But it goes things are deeper than the surface.
Yes.
There's always reason why people tick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so at the end of the day, though, it's about the victims.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
they might go through something and they need help. That's fine. Then get them help.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they need to protect the innocent children.
Yes.
And probation is not fixing the problem. You know what I mean?
It's a Band-Aid, and
Yep.
it kind of goes back to that same thing. Well, as long as it's not affecting me, you know what I mean?
Right.
We'll just give them a slap on the wrist, send them on the way, let them live their life.
Right.
But
Until they
you know-
come out and get arrested for not registering, or another
Yes.
victim, or
Yeah.
a lot of people, they all say the death penalty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have a hard time with that, just for the fact that God says to show mercy because He's
Right.
shown us mercy.
Yeah.
My belief and my idea about it is, these people that do these things, they need to be locked up, and they need to get the help that people are
Yes.
wanting to give them while they're locked up.
They need to be truly rehabilitated.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Truly rehabilitated.
Trying to get
they
help
need-
in the real world is not, in the free world,
Yes.
is not gonna solve the problem.
They need people in their life that is gonna, work with him on a personal basis to try and get to the root cause. Okay, what is causing this and why? You know what
Right.
I mean? Could it be childhood trauma? You know what I mean?
That's the thing right there, is the getting down to the point. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes.
Everybody has a reason they tick.
Yeah.
Take the time to, if you're gonna help these people, lock them up. Take the time to dig
Yeah.
into it. You know what I mean? The system is over flooded. You know what I mean? The prison systems are full. A lot of these people get probation deals. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because they don't have room, etc. You
Yeah.
know, and
Now, I have a theory. Okay. So, a lot of the prison industrial complex nowadays, you know what I mean? There's tons of private prisons now.
oh yeah, it's all business.
So, the state would fund more, and this is, I don't know if this is factual, but this is what I'm thinking. Like, I think that the state might pay more for, drug dealers and murderers and, things of that nature versus what they would pay to house a pedophile.
Right.
I could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? But maybe that is just something that kind of crossed my mind. Could that be it? You know what I mean? But then again, it's like, I don't know. Like I said, I don't understand it. I
Oh,
really do not understand
a
this.
lot of it. If you look at a lot of these cases, man,
Yeah.
some of these people they'll get 30 years for this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you got teachers that are getting probation plea deals
Yeah.
and that have misused the trust that they were given by their community to do these evil deeds,
Yeah.
and they're given probation. So what's the difference between these people in the community that are teachers
Yeah.
and getting plea deals and this other one getting 20, 30 years because it's, you know what I mean, just a regular person in the community? There's
Now-
something going on there that makes some people different because
Do you think it could be the demographics, where you live, where you come from?
Man, to me, a lot of my opinion is it's a business, and a lot of it's who you know and money. Money talks.
That's right.
You
That's
know,
right. Money talks.
and a lot of things is when you're paying for these lawyers, you're paying for them to know the law for one.
Yeah.
But a lot of times you're paying for influence.
Yeah.
And they're the relationship they have with the judge. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, the law is the law. You know, so
Yes.
so why is the judge favoritism differently for each case? It's different. You know what I mean? It should be all the same layout. You know, why are these people done different? And we don't know those answers unless they were told to us. We can only assume it don't look right. You know what I mean? Some don't adding up, but you can't really prove that. You know what I mean? But I think a lot of it has to do with influence, money, and it's a business. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. It really is, man. And you already know, like, you know, you pay big money to, you know, to one of the great lawyers, you know what I'm saying? You're going to get off almost just, you know, scot-free. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Unfortunately.
And that's the problem with our justice system. It's you only get justice if you have money.
That's
and
right.
And the justice shouldn't be something that's a business. Everybody deserves justice.
That's right.
And we didn't do anything to ourselves for these people to be in these positions. And people should deserve justice. Like you shouldn't have to. Well, I don't get to see my kids because I don't have $10,000 to pay for a lawyer to go back in front of court. So now I don't get to see my kids because I don't have the money to fight it.
Yeah.
The system is all.
They're still
broke.
gonna drill you for more money. Man.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, it's like in my situation, my kids were abused, and the dude that did it, they put a restraining order. He was never charged with my kids, and I have to be careful what I say because I have the order from the court saying I can't talk about certain things, and it's because it's going to shine light. It's really going to shine light on the situation, and they don't want that, so they give you these gag orders.
Yeah,
but it's really a business. My children were abused and admitted guilt. He was charged and pled guilty to abusing his own son, but my two sons were involved. But they put a restraining order for 4 years. 4 years. And he said, the judge said, well, you could come back in 4 years and come back in front of me and we can do another junction to extend that more 4 years. Okay, right there, that's just telling me, well, it's about the money. It's a business. If it was about justice and doing the right thing, you should have protected my kids with that restraining order all the way until they're 18. Why 4 years? Because you're going to cause me to come back into court, pay money for a lawyer again, go through the system, and that's how you get more money. If it was about the right thing, you would have protected the kids up to 18.
But see, truly, one of the root causes is the fact that human, fleshly, worldly justice is very biased.
Opinionated.
Versus God's true, pure, and holy justice and judgment. And this world is sick. This world is cursed. It is corrupt. You know what I'm saying? The scriptures tell us that.
Yes, sir.
And that's where our faith has to come in also. And it's just like, yes, there is a time to take a stand. There's a time to stand down and just leave it in God's hands also. Right. Because at the same given, whose hands would you rather fall in?
God's.
The court systems for judgment or God's hands at
God's-
judgment?
God's
If you
every
fall
day.
into God's judgment,
I'd rather be judged. Well,
Yeah.
no, I'm just
You
saying.
know what I'm saying?
I
Like-
know. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it a different way.
Yeah.
But yeah,
No, and truly, like, you know, like, I would rather not even put myself in that position, to be honest with you.
right,
You know,
right,
but a lot of these people, though they may not face justice in this life that they deserve,
right.
the justice is guaranteed. You know,
Yeah, that's the thing with
before
God.
God.
That's the thing with God. Anything. There's nothing on this earth that we can punish these people that's going to be worse than what
Right.
God's judgment, and that's eternal.
Yes.
Like what your judgment, it'd be. You think about your whole life now, and you got all this time, but eternity is forever.
Yes.
You know, and that judgment, it's forever.
Yeah.
You know, it's not. You can't get out of it. Once you've been, you're there. You're there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It's the final judgment, you know. And oh man, Lord have mercy on those who fall into his hands, because it's, yeah, you know, the scripture tells us, you know, how God is just. And you know, a lot of people also take that out of context and just, you know, they use it to like, oh, well, you're gonna burn in hell, you're gonna burn like Sodom and Gomorrah and all this
Right.
stuff, you know. Though it may happen, you know, God gives us all a chance. I pray to have the same grace and mercy that Christ has shown me. It is something that I am definitely working on, because I know who I used to be.
Right.
But, you know, dealing with people who have hurt children is very hard.
That's probably the hardest. That's probably the hardest thing to have to swallow.
Yeah.
That happens in the world. You know,
Yeah.
at everything else, nothing makes it okay. None of that. But at the end of the day, these are children. Like,
Yes.
they can't defend
we
themselves.
gotta step
and,
up and defend them to the best of our abilities, you know.
Yeah, and in our community right now, it's every day you're seeing 1 to 3 child molesters.
Yeah.
Getting arrested in this community. It's every day.
So I'll scroll, you know, Randall County mug shots, shout out, Potter County mug shots, you know, all the little mug shot pages they got on social media. And continuously I see, sometimes back to back to back to back, child pornography charges, indecency with a child, you know, soliciting minors. I'm just like, and yeah, people in the comment section are talking all that mess, you know.
Yep.
But who's gonna really step up and advocate for these children?
Yes, sir.
Because when those children are harmed in that way, they carry that for the rest of their lives. And I know that because, like, I've you know, dealt with women who, you know, had been raped or molested at a young age, you know. It does something to you.
Yeah, it changes you.
It does.
And you can. I've known people that it's happened to, and I've seen them before and after, and it's not the same person. It's affected them.
Yeah.
And it's something that's probably going to affect them for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
And for them person that have did that to them to have probation, like,
Yeah.
it doesn't, the balance there, the scale of balance is not really there. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
more like the victims getting the short end of the stick and the abusers getting out with this freedom. You know,
Yeah.
there's no balance. It's not just. And to me, no crime against a child should have probation.
No.
That
I agree.
Okay, let me tell you this story. There was a kid that was like 16, 17 years old.
Okay.
He was not in a good place. It was on drugs, you know what I mean? Wasn't making good decisions. And he ended up going and robbing a couple of tootin' totems. You know what I mean? Never hurt nobody, nothing like that. And but he was on it was around COVID and all that, and so he didn't go to court for like 4 years. But in that 4 years, he got clean.
Uh-huh.
he worked the job, still had the job. His boss was giving him like good credit and all that. Like he's changed his life around, all that. He goes to court after those 4 years and it completely changed his life. No problem. Been on bond for all that time. And he goes to court and they give him like, I think 14 years in prison. Ooh. 14 years in prison.
Man.
And, but a man can sit there and sexually molest a child continuously. And then they go to court and they get probation. Tell me which one of those. It's unbelievable. I don't understand. Yeah. And then not to take away from the victims in that situation, because he should have been held accountable. I understand that. But if you're going to that extreme for people against crimes against other adults, where is the same energy for our children?
That's right.
Our children are just getting walked on. You know what I mean? But if one of these judges were affected by this, you know, it would be a whole lot different situation.
That's what I'm saying. They would flip the city over.
Yeah, it would be a whole different situation. They're going to protect their own, but at the same time, these DAs are getting their records are getting perfect for making plea deals instead of having to go to court. You know what I mean? So I get a conviction on my record, and then I don't have to do nothing. And so here you go. It's easy peasy. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's just, I see them going after certain people for certain things, and they go after them hard. And then they'll go after certain people lightly. You know what I mean? Yeah. What's the reason there? You know what I mean? It's deeper. There's a reason. Yeah. There's a reason they make those decisions. There's a reason they are okay with it and allow it to happen. For others, and what is those reasons? Yeah. To me, they're elected officials. These people, they're not superior to us. No. You know what I mean? We put them, we put them in our community, put them in those positions, and then they get in those positions and think they're superior and they're in charge and they're untouchable. Yeah. And the thing is, you're not that way. You got that mentality because it's been normalized that way. Yeah. But you're not above us. You know what I mean? And as a community, I feel like we should come together, and if these judges and DAs and et cetera are not going to protect our children, there's time for us to quit talking about it and make action and vote these people out. You know, I'm trying to get, like I was talking to you about, starting that organization and getting these people together and unified and to make change. You know. When everybody's scattered out, it's hard to get anything done. Yeah. But when somebody organizes these people that have the same goals, the same intentions, you know what I mean? Once you get people organized, and then the movement begins, you know? It's just, they need somebody to organize it. Yeah. You know?
And it's getting organized, staying organized, you know? And really taking charge, you know? Really taking charge.
Be in the community. You know, I reach out and talk to a lot of people, and talking's good, but it's actions that get things done.
Like, it's more than just protesting.
Right. Yep.
It's more than just protesting. A lot of people doing protesting because they see injustices and this and that. Like, dude, you standing on the street corner yelling at people just gonna piss more people off. You're not gonna make a difference. Yeah. You know what's gonna make a difference is whenever you step up. You start getting petitions signed. See, you start getting active in your community. You be an example. You know what I mean? You step up. You be an example to make that change. You become a leader. You put yourself, you know what I'm saying, in that leading position. You know, you build an army. You learn to fight justly.
Right.
You know. Right. Put out the same justice that you would once see. Now I'm not saying that. You know, in a violent manner, because you know violence only begets more violence. You know,
right.
And I'm also not telling you to not defend yourselves.
There's a time for war. There's time for peace.
That's right. An eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind. But we have to step up and be an example in the community. Show that hey, you ain't finna come over here and be touching on our kids.
Right.
You ain't fixing to be coming over here bringing your agendas and trying to, you know, get my kids to think that they are
trapped
not
in the
who they are.
Party. Yeah.
You know?
That ideology, that evil ideology.
Like that is a sickness. That is a sickness.
They're pro. A lot of these people, you see it on social media and stuff, and their babies are 1 year old, and they're all talking about, "Are you a boy? Or you're that baby don't even have a clue to anything that you're talking, and you're trying to
Right.
manipulate them at an early age into thinking one way. You know what I mean?
Right.
That goes back to the mental health and how you're raised, and you know what I mean.
And so, big issues we have here in America is mental health and accountability.
right,
Everybody wants to play the victim now.
right,
It's time to grow up.
yes
It's
sir,
time to grow up.
yes sir.
You know?
Being the victim ain't gonna get you nowhere.
No. These children are the ones that are
They're
falling
being-
victim.
yep, yes,
People put themselves in the way of the oppression canon. You know what I mean? Like
yep,
a lot of folks put themselves in that position. Back in the day when I was growing up, you know, if you were gay, cool, respects, do what you do, you know. Nobody said nothing.
right,
But now it's like, nah, I'm gonna force you to accept me. I'm sorry, but the
Right.
reality of the world is like you're not gonna be accepted by everybody. I'm sorry, you're not.
No, you're not.
Me
at
as
all.
a Christian, I'm not accepted by everybody. I'm cool with that.
right?
You know, you don't see me trying to, shove whatever theology or anything. You know, if you rocking with me, if you rocking with Jesus Christ,
right.
amazing, beautiful. If
Yes,
not,
sir.
I still respect you. Do what you do, and I'm not gonna force you into this.
Yeah, but if you ever want to have a conversation,
Let's talk about
let's
it.
talk about it.
you know?
That's how I am about everything, man. I don't really necessarily go to church every day and none of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm one of those people that I have my relationship with God, and I'm very introverted, you know. But I'm more one
Same.
of those people that I'm more the one-on-one conversations in the community, and
Yes.
talking to these people that don't go to church either. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But trying to reach out to some of these people and just make a difference. But I'm like, if you ever want to talk about it, I'm willing to talk to you all day about it. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna sit there and, well, you're going to hell. You know what I mean? Let me talk to you. Maybe I can influence you into the right things and change your life. You know what I mean?
But you know how we do that? And this is something that I learned. The greatest testimony, the greatest example that we could ever do or be is by letting God do the work in you.
Right.
You becoming the example and bearing that spiritual fruit, because it
sir.
is attractive. People are like, how do you have this peace? You know, how do you go about your daily life not complaining all day?
Right.
Because I put Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach, our Father in heaven, right here in my vision. Boom. That's what I look at every day. That's the lens that I look through every day.
Yes,
You
sir.
know? And that brings accountability too.
Yes, sir.
Because when your eyes start to wander, when your thoughts start to wander,
Yeah.
boom, there's Christ right there.
I know it's wrong. Let me get my head back
Yes.
over here.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
And you know, you focus.
That's a lot of time. A lot of, like you were talking about, a lot of people, they don't hold themselves accountable.
That's right.
You know?
Accountability is so like lacking in our society these days.
Yes,
It's
sir.
like, at what point are you gonna man up and look in the mirror and be like, man, I was wrong. I was foul.
Yeah,
know?
it seems like it's hard. It's hard for people just to say they're wrong instead of just, hey, we had an issue, let's move on. You know, it just keeps the conflict going.
Something that's bothered me, and we've been seeing it a lot lately, is glorified pedophiles and freaks.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
yep,
and I'm talking people like, I know y'all see P. Diddy. I know y'all see people like SPM, South Park Mexican, many celebrities, you know, that because of their money and their status were protected. You know, we're influencing the masses. We're extorting people.
Yep.
We're narcissistic. Like South Park Mexican, for instance, they gave this guy 45 years. A lot of people still support him.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people still support him. Why did they give this man 45 years? Some of his closest people, testified truth as to, so South Park Mexican got accused of going down on a 9-year-old little girl. And a lot of that had to do with his ex-best friend's wife, and she was trying to extort him for money and all that, right? But the reality was, when they locked him up and he was out on bond on that, they had found him in a hotel with one or two 15-year-old girls.
Yeah.
And he was actually like in a rehabilitation program. I guess for pedophiles. I didn't even know that was a thing, you know? And then not only that, it came out in court that he had been paying child support for a child that he had with a 13-year-old girl.
Right.
That he had claimed that she said that she was 18 and she was working at a strip club. But people have testified that he would go pick her up at middle school.
Yeah. It's kind of that thing right there. There ain't no way you could tell me that you don't know a 13-year-old from a legal age.
Straight up.
You know. He knew. He knew.
And that's just it, though. To this day, he proclaims his innocence. And he just went up for parole and they denied him.
They did deny him. Mm-hmm.
They denied him. He still proclaims his innocence. He married his daughter's friend. Weird. Too
many coincidences.
And people out here turning the cheek. He didn't do it. He was set up.
No.
Biased. Once again, biased.
That and a lot of people only see the surface and they don't do their own research into anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you got this group of people saying, "Oh, he didn't do it," and you got all these people saying, "Oh, he did it," and you got this group over here looking from the outside saying, "Oh, who am I going to believe?" And they pick one, and they don't. Most of the time, people don't even do their own research into anything to even know the situation. Yeah, and so they're easily influenced.
You go do the research and you'll find it.
Dots start lining up when you start digging and putting the dots. Well, why is this? Well, he knows this person, or he's related to this person, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you start making connections with the people involved, and stuff starts to make sense. It's just one of those things. It's hard to prove. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's hard to prove unless they come out and say, "Yeah, I did this for this reason." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when you dig into it and you actually look at the people involved, who knows who, it gets deeper. And a lot of people just need to get past the surface.
It just bothers me because these people, because of their fame status or all that whoop-de-woo, they refuse to take accountability.
Yeah.
People like R. Kelly.
If I just keep denying it, then nothing happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even though it's there.
Yeah. Even though it's been proven on paper, whatever. R. Kelly, same thing. P. Diddy, same thing. R. Kelly. So what happened, and this actually happened in 2000, I would say about the year 2000, 2002-ish, where a sex tape of him had leaked where he was sleeping with a 14-year-old girl. No one batted an eye because he was R. Kelly. Right. He had just dropped the hottest album in the nation. Everybody's loving his music. It wasn't until R. Kelly wasn't beneficial to the system or whatever they had going on. They're hey, boom, hang this guy.
Yep.
Yep,
because a lot of that things, a lot of these people are connected. Look at P. Diddy, all his money, all these different politicians, celebrities, they're all connected. You know what I mean? But as soon as the light shined on one of them, they're like, "Oh, well, it was cool when it was going on in the darkness. Now that you got the light on you, we gotta get you away from us before it comes back on anybody else."
And you know what really got me was that some of the named victims, including Justin Bieber,
oh yeah,
they're traumatized.
Oh, you can see it. You can see the progression too.
And now that all this is coming out, like, I don't know if you've seen, Justin Bieber recently.
They don't look good.
He don't look healthy mentally, I'm saying.
No, you don't. And then you look at it, but he's a celebrity, so a lot of eyes are on him, and so all this is coming out, and now
he don't want to have that image.
No, and now all these people that look up to him has this outlook of what happened to him. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that in itself mentally. Not only were you traumatized, but now the world knows it too. So now you're suffering on another level. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You're not just suffering from the what happened to you. Now you're suffering from all the peers around you that know what happened. And so that's just, to me, that just adds another level of the mental health problem to it involves, Because
when you've been victimized like that, like we said earlier.
Most victims don't want people to know they're ashamed.
They don't want it. They are ashamed.
And then it's not something they can control, and they shouldn't be ashamed. But but I understand where they're coming from. A lot of people they don't want people to know that happened to them. And that's the sad part. It's the sad part. The victims shouldn't feel like they're cast out and shouldn't be able to talk. And then you got these people just skating by. Yeah. Look at our teachers. How many teachers in this community have done these type of charges, and they just get slaps on the wrist? Yeah. These are wolves in sheep's clothing. They're there to teach, to lead, protect, to influence our children in a positive way. Yes. You know what I mean? And they're taking that, and then they're using it for evil. Yes. And those people should have been held at a much higher level. Yes. Like anybody touches a kid should be held at a high level.
Us as parents, we come drop our children off with you.
Yeah,
and because we feel like we can trust you with our kids.
Right. And then how is our community and the people in our community supposed to feel safe when we've had multiple teachers, multiple schools, and this is happening? Yeah. Like, there's no accountability. Oh, well, let's just give them a slap on the wrist. I got my little tally mark on my conviction, and I ain't got to do the work, and I got this. But these people have taken these positions and abused these against children. They should have been held at a highest level there is. Yes. These are people we trusted that did this. These aren't just some person that walked in your house, you know what I mean? It was some random act of violence, you know what I mean? These are people that our kids go to that we're supposed to trust, and they misused our trust, abused these people, and then they're getting to walk free. That's wild. Yeah. That's wild.
And here's something crazy that has just came up, this happened just recently. Taxpayers are upset about the city's decision to pay former police chief Martin Birkenfield $175,000 to retire after supporting a convicted child predator.
That's where our community is. That's where that's not where our community is. That's where the people in positions of power in our community have allowed it to be okay. You know what I mean? And instead of holding these people accountable for what they do and their decisions, they make it okay, and then they still pacify them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's unbelievable, and man. It's unbelievable.
Thing is, like, how much did y'all pay out to the victim's family? How much? And no money could ever amount to heal that wound.
Nope.
That child is damaged for life. Even though this man didn't, he didn't do the deed,
He's a head of a police department that's supposed to be protecting our children, but he is supporting a pedophile. Like, that if that right there doesn't speak in itself, the person at the head of our police department that's supposed to protect the community is supporting and covering and supporting and being there for a pedophile. Make it make sense, man. Right. Make it make sense.
Right.
No. Right.
Wow.
Oh yeah. So like, you walk out in the street.
If y'all didn't hear that, according to United States Supreme Court, it is not the police's job to protect you, or duty to protect you. So when was that? Or the last decade?
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Well, our police they're more about enforcing than they are serving. That's for sure.
Yes.
They'll enforce your city tickets They'll
Yeah.
lock you up in jail for city tickets for 2 months, but they'll give a
Mhm.
probation for pedophile.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's just like, so at what point are we going to step up, you know?
Right.
And that's why, God gave us this platform so that people have a voice and so that we could minister to them, so that we can be here for others. Like, there is multiple purposes for this platform that God has given.
Oh yeah.
And, I'm grateful for people that come here and speak out.
Yeah, man, because a lot of people are afraid, man. Like a lot of people, they don't want to go against the government or the system, and the system's they're established. They got all the resources, and like me, I'm just a regular person. I'm on disability from PTSD, and so I don't have the resources. All I have is my voice, my time, and my determination. That's what I got. You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter how big the system is in front of me and how much money they got and what they can deter and what they can manipulate, and then they can use the law that we don't understand that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, God has me. God will move those mountains. God will shine light on the evil, and I don't need those resources. All I need is my drive and my faith in God. That's it.
Amen.
And at the end of the day, it will come to be. It will. There's nothing's going to deter said. Nothing's going to stop this. And it's not going to stop me from doing what I need to do.
That's right.
And they can use the system to try to scare me and not to speak up and this and that. But at the end of the day, were you gonna lock me up for my voice?
Yeah.
My thing is I'm calling you out on the decisions they made.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't make those decisions, and as elected officials, you made those decisions. Yeah. You're not superior to us. Ask or answer to why you are allowing these to happen. Yeah. That's the problem with our system. The system is, well, the judge rules, and then nobody can say anything. Guess what? You're an elected official. This is the people's court. Mm-hmm. This is not your court. So answer for the decisions that you've done.
The reality of it is, you are a public servant. You work for me. I pay my taxes.
Right. And
if it's not seen that way.
No, and that's because that's the way it's been established of control and power.
Yeah.
But once the people realize, hey, the system is broken, we need to take it back and come together and change it, the system's going to continue. It's just the way it is. You look at history repeats itself, man.
Oh yeah.
And it will go and go and go until people have had enough. When is that going to be? How many more kids are going to be abused and victimized? How many lives are going to be changed forever? You know what I mean? How much evil does it have to happen before people start making a stand? You know, and that's my goal. Is I'm going to bring as much awareness. I'm going to try to organize, bring people together, and that have the same goal and to make a movement. If nothing else, I'm just a regular guy. But this one person, there's many of me all across the world. Yeah. Just like, you have y'all's purpose and y'all are doing this. Everybody has their purpose. You know what I mean? But when all us regular individual people come together and make a stand and for the causes we believe in, that's when we make the change. You know what I mean?
And it's a crazy place when you can't trust your government. And I say that because in the last administration, with the border crisis and things that are going on and things that were going on then, the United States had the biggest child trafficking ring on the planet.
It's deep, bro. It's deep. When people start doing the researching into it's deep. Yeah.
I watched that movie. I can't think of the name.
Mel Gibson?
No, it was released through yes. What was that movie called?
I don't watch much TV, so
yes, it came out of Angel Studios. Was it The Sound of Silence?
Sounds familiar.
Was it that?
It sounds familiar.
Sound of Freedom.
Yeah, that's that Mel Gibson movie. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sound of Silence is something else.
I can't watch.
I think that's a song.
I couldn't watch that. Just the content it's hard for me to watch certain.
I watched that movie,
movies.
Bro, and it just it lit me on fire from the inside.
Oh,
and even though that it is a movie, it is a reality.
It is.
It is a reality. So not only is it just happening here in America, it's happening all over the world.
Oh yeah, look,
Children are used and
when
abused
you
all over this planet.
when you look at CPS, the system of CPS, they have places in across the world, the country. They've lost thousands of kids on the list. They don't
Yeah.
know. They have no idea where they go.
Yeah.
CPS can get called for somebody that's mad at you, make an accusation. They could
Yes.
come in. You they don't even have to prove it. It could take your kid away from you, and then you'll be in the court system trying to get them back for years.
Yeah.
There's people that's paid thousands of dollars fighting the system for years and years and years,
Yeah.
and haven't really got anywhere. You know what I mean? I lost my train of thought of where I was going with that.
No,
but
you good. But with everything that we have said this evening, it is very important for you to take time to educate yourself and for you to know your rights against these organizations.
oh yeah,
Whether it's the Child Support Office, whether it's CPS, you know,
Fourth Amendment, First Amendment, all
Yes.
those.
it is very important that you know your rights, your inalienable rights. And hopefully I didn't chop that up.
Yeah, and I would always,
Yeah.
I would always suggest too. Anytime you're
Educate
dealing with that,
yourselves.
use
Yes.
have video. Always
Yeah.
have everything on video.
Yeah. Educate yourself. Protect yourself. Protect your families. Keep your children close. Keep your, your friends' children's close. If your kids are around me, I promise you they're good.
Oh yeah,
They're
oh, yeah.
good.
I feel like the mom dad. I'm one of those dads that I hear. It doesn't matter what kid it is. I hear a scream. It's all
Yeah, it's
for me.
like-
I'm like,
Like, hey, what's
you know
going
what I
on?
mean?
Well, I'm
Like,
peeping
I
the
know it's
scene,
not
yeah.
one of mine, but I know it's a kid in
Yeah.
need. You know what I
Yes.
mean? And so,
Yes. Sometimes
it
the
takes
kids just be throwing fits though.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, but you could tell. I
Yeah.
got that little instinct.
No,
I could tell
definitely.
in the
Definitely.
tone and everything. And but that's what it takes. Is it's a community and a community that's united and together is a community that is strong.
That's
And a
right.
community that can create change and protect and influence our future generations in the positive way. You know.
That's right.
And
We
without a
have to
strong
come together.
community, the evil just it will continue, man.
That's right.
We need a strong community to put a stand and say, hey, we're not gonna allow this against our children
That's
no
right.
more. We should never be okay with someone abusing a child in any fashion and them getting probation. That should never be an option. Ever be an option. These innocent children have no say.
Yeah.
And then their justice system is given this is the justice they deserve.
Yeah.
No, I can go get caught with a sack of dope and get 20 years, but
Yeah.
you can beat a kid or sexually abuse a kid and get probation. It's
Yeah.
backwards, man.
Yes.
The system is backwards, and
Yeah.
it's
It really
gonna
needs
take
to
change.
Some drastic's got to happen.
And
you know.
and we're just one community all across this country. I've been all through the state from here down to Austin. I've talked to people all the way up to Michigan, all the way over to Washington on the phone. I've talked to a lot of people, and it's just individuals like us that are doing things like this
Mhm.
that's gonna build to create that change. Because for a long time it ain't got nowhere because people ain't done nothing. But guess what? The time for the light to be shined and the movement we're in that time now. A lot
Yes.
of people are taking a stand and a lot of lights shining on these evil people and it's in motion. We just got to get to that point.
Yes. And as we get ready to wrap up, I just I really want to give a heartfelt shout out to the families who have had their children victimized, whether they are no longer with us or they have gone through traumatic experiences. Our hearts go out to you, our prayers go out to you.
Yes.
Families like Dorian Thomas's family, that he still to this day has not been found. To the family of that little girl that they found, chopped up in a bag. I believe she was 12 years old. Yes, and this was just about a week, I think, within this last week or two. To the children who are scared to speak up. I pray that you do. My heart goes out to you and your families. And, but these things aren't going to come to light
without action.
until somebody says something. And so, young people, adults, if you have been victimized in any way, if you have faced injustice in any way, it's time to speak up.
Yes.
It's time to speak up. And,
yes.
You got people that will stand with you. So don't let the narcissistic person that hurt you
or the devil's doubt
don't let that take over you. We stand with you. We stand with you, most definitely. And, those were just, like I said, for any child that has been victimized, and from the beginning of time until now, I'm talking about from when they were, sacrificing children to Molech to now, there will be justice.
Yes, sir.
There will be justice. Man, if you want to share any last thoughts.
Yeah, I do want to say one thing. I know in Amarillo there was a kid from Oklahoma that was missing. And they found their car here in Amarillo. Oh. And I was talking to a bunch of people, and we went and we're going through the community and passing out flyers, talking to hotels and stuff like that, trying to find this kid. But we could never find him. But the positive and the good news is they did find the boy and the mother at the Mexico border. So he is safe. The guy that she was with was the boyfriend, and he was a registered sex offender. And they were after him for kidnapping. And wow. But apparently he kept on, and they found the kid and the mother at the border. So that's just a thankful to God that everything came out good, and that's just the community and people coming together and found that kid. It just takes people to take action, you know what I mean? And I know there's a lot of evil that goes on, and a lot of people are traumatized, and I'm sorry, and I hate that people are having to go through that. But there are good people out here, and there are good people willing to do what needs to be done for the others, and there is good things that come out, you know what I mean? Not everything's always the bad end. This kid got found safe, and that's something we have to be thankful of. Yes, sir.
And once again, rest in peace. God rest her soul to the little babies who have been, killed, hurt, molested. Rest in peace to Kaylee Anthony, John Benet Ramsey. Those are just, names that just, come off the top of my head because they're well-known cases. I know there's more. There's millions of children who have been victimized.
Just know that you're not alone.
You're not alone.
And then you might be going through it individually by yourself, but there's a lot of people that are willing to help and to lean on and to be there for support. And it's been through things that y'all can relate, and it just don't feel like you're alone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're not alone. And don't feel ashamed of what happened. Let's come together and protect each other and make a change.
That's right. If you ever need to talk to somebody, inbox us. This is the Where You At podcast. We are signing out for the night. Peace.
Where you at? Where you at? All my brothers, where you at? All my sisters, where you at? I'ma meet you where you at? Where you at? Where you at? All my brothers, where you at? All my sisters, where you at? I'ma meet you where you at? Where you at? Where you at? I'ma meet you where you at? Where you at? Where you at? I'ma meet you where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Yeah, I'ma meet you where you at? I'ma meet you where you at? I'ma meet you where you at? Let's go. This is the Where You At podcast.